And now for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First order, we have to bring in a board member remotely. Let's see if we can get this working. All right. Mr. Childress, can you hear me?
I sure can.
All right. In accordance with the Amherst County School Board Policy BDD, a school board member may participate in a remote location due to medical condition, personal matter that prevents the member from physical attendance, with the approval of the majority of the members present at the primary meeting location. In order to offer this opportunity to remote board member, a quorum of the board must be physically present at the primary location, and arrangements have been made for the voice and remote participation to be heard by all. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, sir.
David Childress, are you able to hear us?
I am, yes, very well.
Seeing that we have met both criteria stated within the policy of BDD, at this time I ask for a motion from the board member, David Childress, be allowed to participate in this meeting remotely with all rights and decisions of voting affording to them. Can I get a motion from the board?
I make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. David, welcome to the meeting.
All right, fun time.
All right, moving on to, I guess we're at 102,
Yes, sir. Approval.
and that would be the approval of the agenda.
I move for approval of tonight's agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. The best part of the meeting. Here we go, recognition.
Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, before we do student and staff recognitions, I'd like to honor some of our VSBA Business Honor Roll folks that are here tonight. So again, the VSBA Business Honor Roll provides opportunity for school divisions to publicly recognize businesses, organizations, and nonprofits to go above and beyond in the support. School division cannot thrive without a strong support of the community, and Amherst County Public Schools is fortunate to be surrounded by individuals and organizations that consistently step forward and make a difference. The local organizations being recognized for tonight are excellent examples of what it means to invest in students, schools, and the future of our community. So tonight, Glad Manufacturing. So I should have three representatives here. I think Ashley, Lula, and Stephanie, if you're here. Are they here? Okay, y'all come forward. So I can read this. So Glad Manufacturing is a long-standing supporter of Amherst County Public Schools and our community. They have partnered with our division over many years, providing much-needed support for our programs. Most recently, Glad Manufacturing provided funding and support for the purchase of the food trailer for the Culinary Arts program at Amherst County High School. This investment will provide students valuable hands-on learning experiences and opportunities for further development and skills necessary for future success in hospitality and culinary industries. And of course, they provide us with bags and many other things for our teacher needs, and we really appreciate everything that y'all do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all come up here, get a picture.
I could do my laps.
One, two, three. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Appreciate your support.
Thank you.
No.
My sister, you knew that.
Yeah. All right, next on our list, Fairmont Crossing Health and Rehab Center. Heather Whitney. Is Heather here?
And Carla Webb.
Oh, and Carla. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all stay here just for a So I would like to extend a sincere gratitude to Fairmont Crossing Health and Rehab Center for its long time and continued support of our students in schools. For many years, Fairmont Crossing has been a valued community partner, particularly through support of certified nursing, our CNA students who attend over there through the high school. Through this partnership, our students have gained meaningful learning experiences and opportunities to develop the skills necessary for success in healthcare. Most recently, Fairmont Crossing partnered with Amherst County Public Schools in the installation of the Love Sign. And if you haven't gone over to see that, it's the top of the hill and it's absolutely phenomenal. And I know that they are proud of that partnership. But this was brought together by the students at Temperance Elementary, the high school career and tech ed students, the welding class were the ones that constructed that, and Mr. Pryor's class was the ones that actually put that up. So quite an event, and last week we kind of had the ribbon cutting for that. But this project serves as a lasting symbol of connection, compassion, and community while providing students with authentic opportunities to apply their skills in service to others. The collaboration exemplified the positive impact that can be achieved when students and community organizations work together to build meaningful relationships. So we'd like to thank you again. Y'all come up front. Thank you again for all you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Open the windows.
Mr. Friend and Joy, are you guys here? Mr. Friend is. Mr. Friend, come on up. So neighbors helping neighbors. Thank you, sir. So Ms. McNerney and I were able to go get another tour of their facility, and I can tell you that they are what Mr. Friend and his folks do outstanding for our students and our community. So I'd like to thank Neighbors Helping Neighbors for unwavering support of our students, families, and community. Organizations stepped up to continue our food program, formerly known as Amherst Cares, and transformed it into NHN for Kids, ensuring the vital support for students and families remained in place. Without their dedication and commitment, it's possible that this program would not have been able to continue. We're deeply appreciative for their compassion, leadership, and partnership. So this year, they provided an average of 547 bags per week to our students. Wow. 547 bags. So over the 35 weeks, that's about 19,000 bags that they perform. So they pack them up. We have a couple folks from transportation to go pick them up, and then they deliver them to the schools, and then we get them out to students. So not only is this great for our students, but what Mr. Friend and his organization does for the community. So thank you, sir. They have it down to a T of how they do this.
We have to.
Thank you, good sir. Appreciate it.
Sir. That's great. Great organization.
Mr. Friend also shared with us he's got a little competition with his workers, how fast they can get some bags packed, and they do that. So, that's some great things. So, all right, moving on. 2.02, we have our Students of the Month. So when I call your name, students, if you'll come up, please. So the first one is Amherst County High School, Hannah Davis. Is Hannah here? Stand up front for me, please. Wait for the others. Amherst Education Center, Chris Jackson. Is Chris here? Congratulations, Chris. Amherst Middle School, Reagan Kirko. Amelon Elementary School, Nevaeh Horsley. Amherst Elementary School, Haley Metter. Stand up front. Central Elementary School, Araya Fick. Madison Heights Elementary, Penrose Jacobs. Temperance Elementary School, Devin Lane. Okay, all right. Mr. Arasi.
One, two, three. Anybody else want to?
We appreciate you coming during your summer.
That's right.
All right, moving on to 2.03, our staff of the month. Amherst County High School, Michelle Robinson. Is Michelle here? AEC, Miss Marcy Lane. Amherst Middle School, Nate Kirko.
Waiting. Do it all at the end.
Amelon, Brittany Hall.
There we go.
Amherst Elementary School, George Thompson. Central Elementary School, Rachel Helly.
Congratulations.
Elon, Joy Kirko. Madison Heights Elementary School, Christina Phillips. And Temperance Elementary School, Mark Sampson. Well, let's give them all another hand. Tough month to call them out of summer break,
That's right.
so we appreciate you two for showing up.
One, two, three.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Sam's got a target bag.
All right, moving on to 2.04, I'd like to call up no stranger to you all, Miss Wanda Burley will speak to you all, and I think she might even have, do you have a present for her, Miss Burley?
I think we do. And if I can get our students to come up with me. Well, good evening, board members. I see the smile on Ms. Liggins' face. She's all excited, I'm sure. A lot of board members are smiling. So board members and Dr. Hoden, we are here again this year to present you with a copy of the 70th edition of the Amethyst. I have with me tonight 4 of our staff members, Hannah Davis, Kinsley Bryant, Amaya Lewis, and Cam Brizendine. So these young folks are part of the staff that put through hundreds of hours working on this edition of the Amethyst. And I would just like to, when you get your book, you can, one of the things that they take time to do, of course, is come up with a theme every year. And this was an anniversary edition. So when they came up with the theme, it's a little bit longer than what a lot of themes are. But if you look at that, it's honor the past, embrace the present, shape the future. So I really want to encourage you, everybody gets a yearbook and they like to look at the pictures. That's the first thing we do, look at all the pictures. But take some time to read the book. And see how they develop the theme. What you'll find in here, when we talk about honor the past, some of you who have gone through Amherst County schools over the years, maybe anywhere, maybe you or your parents, some of the grandparents, in the 60s up through the early 90s may have remembered Miss Clara Jackson, who was the biology teacher at Amherst High School. Well, Hannah wrote some questions. Ms. Jackson responded, and she's included in this yearbook. She's in Texas right now, but we were able to reach out to her, and she responded. We talk about shape the future, and you think, well, how are we going to do that? Well, they reached out to some of the young people that are in our community. We have a 5-year-old that's included in the book. But also with the past, not just Miss Jackson, but they found alumni. We have a couple from the very first class of 57, that are included in the book. Some of the students throughout the years, different things that they enjoyed doing when they were in school. It's not on every page, so you have to sort of go through the book and look through it. I'll just throw one thing out that we found kind of interesting. This year's homecoming king, his mother was homecoming queen when she was in school. So we have both of their perspectives in there. So once again, look at the pictures. We hope you enjoy the book, but really take some time to read it. When you look at it and you look at the table of contents there on the end sheet, those pages are what we call the divider pages. They have the theme. If nothing else, when you start out, go to those pages and read those pages until you get to the end of the book, and you'll see how it all ties together in what they were trying to do with this 70th anniversary edition. So some interesting facts. It was fun digging through that, and Dr. Crawford, I think you even heard him mention a few things at graduation this year from the 70 years. Some of that was included in the book. But it was a really good year. These students worked really, really hard to put this together. We had great support from the staff and students at the high school, from administrative staff. When we had our cover meeting, we have a graphic artist that we meet with across the country. And one of the highlights of that is not only watching the cover come to life, but our principal, Dr. Crawford, comes to that session. And to watch his face as he sees what the students and the artists put together, that's priceless, just to watch all of that come together. So our gift to you, and we hope you do enjoy this. Folks.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, he's got one. Go, hey, right, Briz.
Briz,
Briz.
go to the other side.
Okay.
This is
Dr. Wills, she'll take Dr. Wills. All
I understand the hundreds and hundreds
Okay.
of hours.
right, the two ladies back here get one, Briz.
Oh, yeah, we might need to collect one for David and
Eh.
Don.
And Briz is going, Ms. McNaughton, she's going to take the other two. We've got one for Mr. Childers and Ms. Justice also.
Thank you.
Okay? So we hope you all enjoy and see a little bit about the history of Amherst County High School this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burley, and
Thank you
students.
very
Great
much.
job as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3.01, public comment.
Oh, yep, we're moving on to 301, public comment. I understand that nobody signed up for public comment. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak, the mic is open. Seeing none, we will close the open comment. And looking for consideration of approval of the school board meeting, the minutes of the meeting.
Mr. Vice Chair, as you get to the consent agenda, which is next, just a reminder that we did give you an addendum to that, and I spoke to each of you about that, so just wanted to remind you that the consent agenda is also in there. And the addendum is in the consent agenda.
Right. So as we move up to, I guess, 4.1, do we need a
Motion to approve.
motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and now we have, consider the confirmation of the superintendent personnel actions.
That was part of the
That
consent
was
agenda,
consent
sir. Yes,
agenda,
sir.
right, okay, so now we're on to 5.1.
5.01, yes, sir.
Discuss and consider the dates for the school board meeting dates. I know we talked about this last month, and I think we've got it set up for Thursdays. We were all good. Nothing really changed on that.
No, sir.
So do we want to
Yeah,
approve
it's-
that?
It's all in the calendar, yes, sir. Yep. Nothing fell on a holiday, so they're pretty standard.
You need a motion?
Yep.
Make a motion to accept the school board calendar as presented.
Second?
I second it.
Oh,
Okay.
2 seconds.
All right, we gotta, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Here we go.
All right. So 5.02, Mr. Vice Chair, we have the policy committee. Policies reviewed by the policy committee. We had a great discussion, very informative, and these policies are brought back to the board without any recommended revisions. So, sir, 5.02, if
But
you
you
will.
can check.
I make a motion to approve the
Policies listed.
policies
5.02.
in 5.02.
All right, I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it passes.
All right, so 5.03, you have in front of you the approval for the title grant applications. That's Title I, Part A, improving basic programs. Title II, Part A, supporting effective instruction. Title III, Part A, instruction for English learners and immigrant children. And Title IV, Part A, student support and academic enrichment grants. So I just need your approval to move forward with the title grants.
So I need a motion to approve the continued education and the grant funding. So we got to apply for those grants and everything's moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Need a motion.
I make the motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. So 5.04, sir, discuss and consider approval of the retention bonus for employees. So the final numbers to the board. If you have any questions for Ms. Lukanich, I'll let her speak. But I know that we had a lengthy discussion over the last few months and last month on the bonus. And then the bonus would be possibly slightly over 1,500. And the reason why it might be a few dollars over is because we have to spend our minimum, and Ms. Lukanich is still working through folks that have left, so it might end up being like $1,010 or $15. But Ms. Lukanich, would you like to add anything to that?
Just to add that last month, based off of the numbers that we had, I had stated that the local portion would be approximately $218,119. Due to some staffing changes that has happened since then, we are looking at just sticking to that required local match of the $198,935. So that is what we would be. It's about $20,000 less. That would be the cost to the locality that would be impacting our year-end funds.
All right, board, I need a motion. Are we going to approve the bonus and retention for our staff?
I make the motion to approve.
Any discussion?
Second first. Second.
Second? Now discussion.
What I would say, it's not an easy decision, right? I mean, it's easy in the sense that we want to provide bonuses to our staff. That part's easy. The difficult part is just the overall funding and where we are. And for me, it comes down to two things. We're making an investment either in our capital stuff, our buses, our infrastructure, or we're making that investment in our people. And quite honestly, for me, it leans on we've got to make the investment in our people. When you look at the various pay scales that we talked about, during budget season, Amherst is not at the top of the pay scales, and as a board, we've tried to do something about that, and unfortunately, with the funding with the county, it just hasn't been worked out in our favor. But this is an opportunity that we do have to give a little more to our staff, and so for me, that's the investing back into our people, and looking at it in that respect, it's an easy win.
Mr. Vice Chair?
Yes.
It's not an easy decision. I 100% agree, but retention is very important. It's important in the business world. It's important here in education. And I know this is not a lot, but it's something that says thank you and that we appreciate everything you do, and we're going to work just as hard next year to try to get you more money. But we are working on it.
Yeah, and I'll say that, yeah, investing in people will generate the best opportunity for Amherst and the division. And I wish we could do more, I really do. But we have this opportunity now in front of us, so I think we should vote and let's move forward. Although, anybody else have any comment?
What was the total?
Eric, just one final thing. I will have to abstain as my wife would be directly affected by the bonus. So,
So are you referring to the total?
Bonus amount?
Well, we have the we have the state funding, which was $460,884. We have the required local match of $198,935. So the total funding that we have available will be $659,819. And that will be spread out. Initially, we were looking at that full-time, part-time, the 1,500. What Dr. Hoden was referring to is because of some of the staffing changes, that it may end up being 1,010 or 1,015 that we have to do so that we do meet that local match.
That's the question. 1,000 and some.
Yes, with
Okay.
probably a few more dollars.
5, okay. Yeah, I thought that's what you said before.
Yes,
I
ma'am,
just want to
it
make
was.
sure all the changes. Okay, yeah,
Yes,
that's all the
ma'am.
question I had. I'm good.
All right.
No, I'm not good. No, I'm good with that. When would that be distributed?
That is scheduled to go out on the June payroll.
Okay. Just so people that are listening have a good understanding.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. So we've got a first, second discussion. We need to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. David will be abstaining from vote.
Moving on to 6, information on instruction. Mr. Neighbors?
All right. Good evening, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board. A few updates for you this evening. We do have some updated numbers for our kindergarten and pre-K registration, continuing to see strong numbers in both of those areas. We're right on par with where we were last year this time, and actually the projected enrollment for next year is one student above where we're currently sitting for kindergarten, so great to see that. With some numbers declining across the state, good to see strong enrollment there. Pre-K, there were some initial numbers that we were worried about with overall numbers of applications. Some of that has started to come on strong. So we're very, very encouraged by those numbers at this point in the calendar. We do get a fairly large rush as we get into July and even August with those pre-K programs. So not concerned at this point about being able to fill those seats, like I said, roughly where we were around this time last year. So just wanted to give those numbers as an update for the board. I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody might have. All right, seeing none, I'll keep on rolling. The next piece of information I have for you this evening is an update on our Virginia Community College system tuition. So we talked a little while back about some tuition increases that were coming our way. At that point, they're relatively small. Still seeing a relatively small tuition increase for Virginia Community College. But we've been very fortunate to identify more qualified applicants for some of these programs this year and able to fill 3 additional seats in the CTE Academy. Those are seats we had available to us, hadn't been able to fill previously. So very excited for that opportunity. That does raise that number a little bit from what we were initially projecting. So right around $32,000. I've spoken to Ms. LaCollege at least a couple times now to verify. She assures that we have that money there in that tuition line. I had projected some increases that were coming our way with this. And as usual, she was very prepared for this particular opportunity for our students. While we're seeing that increase, we we are able to comfortably adopt that into the line that we already have for tuition and get a few more students participating over there in the CTE Academy. So again, would be happy to answer any questions the board might have.
And that was 3 additional students from last year. That brings our total up to,
25. We were 22 last year.
so we're at 25 students. And I'm sure we still have a waiting list.
There are students that had applied for various programs. We were fortunate this year. We didn't have a tremendous number of students that were really at that point from an application standpoint ready to step into those programs. So for the most part, we were able to provide that opportunity to the vast majority of students that had applied.
Great, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep on rolling. The third item I have for you all this evening is a preliminary update on our SOL and end of course data. A couple of caveats about our data presentation this evening. So the one I have projected up here for everyone gives our overall division numbers and where we stand in those 4 content areas. Because this is preliminary data, it's still relatively high level. I'll kind of walk through exactly what we're looking at with this. In board docs, as a part of your presentation in the system, you do have a breakdown of school by school in addition to what we'll be showing publicly tonight. I did want the board to have that, at least at that initial high level. We are. I'm just going to go like this. We are planning to come back in July with a much more detailed breakdown of the data. We've been getting into it up here with the instructional team. Our principals and their teams have also been digging into the data and some other components that we're going to bring back. We really want to look at the impact of retakes. We want to look at where we were with that first time through on the assessment. We want to dig much further down into some of our subgroups and see where we are with some of this new state accountability components that we're working with. So hoping to bring back a much more detailed report in July for the board with where we are. We wanted to at least get the ball rolling and let everybody know where we stand as of today. We do have all of the initial takes and retakes in this data set that we're showing tonight, so we were able to get that in since retakes finished up just last week, actually. But what I wanted to emphasize is obviously this is preliminary data. This is generated by us. This is not from VDOE. That's an embargoed component, so this is just our projections of what we're looking at and our best guess, you might say, of where we are at this point with our overall pass rates and breaking that down as we go through. What's not included is some of those extra things that are going to start to onboard as the data gets analyzed by the states. Just thinking about recovery, growth, some of those alternative assessments specifically for our students with disabilities, the VAP, that's something that's not incorporated into this yet. That is the way that they take those SOLs. That'll be a part of that first take data. It's just not something we have yet. We have to wait a little while to get that back and confirmed by the state. A couple other reminders here. So just as we had talked about it in the past, we're in our second year of implementation for some of our new standards here in English and math. We're also in that first year of implementation for HMH, the secondary English language arts curriculum, in our second year at the elementary level open court. And as everybody is well aware, we got math coming next year. So we'll keep talking about curriculum adoption for a while. All right, so jumping into the data. Before we get to the numbers, just kind of want to explain the key a little bit, and sorry for the coloring up there on the screen. Hopefully everybody can see it okay. What we wanted to do is kind of provide some context. So where have we been, not just this past year, what we just completed, but the 2 prior years, kind of looking at some trend data. Where have we been? Where do we feel like we might be going? So try to highlight where we saw that highest of those 3 years with a green in the box there. We also have some nice little squiggly lines pointing up, so where we saw improvement year over year from last year to this year at certain grade levels or content areas. We wanted to acknowledge that. We also wanted to make sure we were acknowledging cohort growth. So students that were in 3rd grade last year or the previous year were in 4th grade in the year that we just completed. Did we see increase in their performance? Not just what the grade level looked like last year, but this actual same group of students, as much as that can be compared. I wanted to look at that as well, and that's that nice little red dot that we have here, that cohort improvement year over year. As you'll notice with English and reading, we've got a lot of those squiggly lines going up, which is great to see. The theme of this slide will be the theme of the rest of the slides that we're talking about tonight. Improvement is great. We want to celebrate it. It's a good thing. there is plenty of work to be done, right, as we're thinking about where we want to be and how we want to end up with these pass rates. So looking at this and being able to talk through, we had some conversations earlier this week with our entire principal group about where we stood on some of this. We celebrated those great things and those great areas of progress that we're able to see, but also started talking about how are we going to take that next step, how we're going to build on some of that momentum and address some of these areas where we know we're not where we need to be yet. Of particular note, on the positive side, looking at third grade performance from last year to this year, it's wonderful to see that group in particular really up in the game in regards to where they are with passing. That's not students to students, but just third grade to third grade from last year to this year. We want that strong foundation. We want to see good positive numbers with that particular group of students. Elementary overall, we're seeing good progress, good growth, very much mirroring what we were seeing throughout the year. Even breaking that down student by student and the breakdown that you have in your presentation, we do have growth rates for each school as well, at least what we're projecting at this point. And for most of our elementary schools, we were 70+% of students demonstrating growth this school year. So that was another thing that we celebrated with principals. Again, how do we build on that? How do we continue to take that next step as we're going forward? Secondary ELA, even though we've got those squiggly lines going up and seeing some improvement, that's good. That's going to continue to be an area of focus. How do we get back to some of those levels that we've seen over the last couple of years, and obviously exceeding that as we are moving forward? Ultimately, as I said, we want to be able to celebrate improvement, we want to be able to celebrate progress, but also acknowledge that we've got some areas that we're going to be working through and digging deeper into as we conduct this data analysis here in the next couple of months. All right, same piece for math here. Very encouraged by some of those numbers that we're seeing at the elementary level. Again, not where we want to be, but improving. We want to see those lines going up. We want to see that cohort growth that we have with a couple of those groups. We do have some outliers there in regards to 7th grade math specifically, but then also into our high school math courses. Those are spots where we're going to be spending a lot of time with Dr. Crawford and his team to dig in, look student by student. That's always how we want to approach that. Where are we? Where are we not hitting that mark to get those specific skills that students are going to need to be ready to take that assessment at the end of the year? So while overall, again, with math, we were able to see some of that positive trend and going up, secondary math is a piece that we're going to be spending a lot of time on, digging into that data and making sure we understand the story behind the data, what's going on with those individual kiddos, how can we look at our instruction, what we need to do to better prepare them as we are moving forward. All right. Science as well. Again, I'm going to stick with my theme this evening. We're going to celebrate improvement and know that we still got miles to go and be able to work on the things that we need to. I was glad to see in this particular data set, physical science was a piece that we hadn't assessed last year. It wasn't really a comparative piece. Weren't quite sure where we were going to land with some of that, even though our data throughout the year was telling us that we were on a positive trend. It was good to see some of that come back again, not where we want to be, but much more positive than last time that we went through with physical science. So good to see some improvement there. Biology was also a component there where, again, not where we need to be from an overall percentage standpoint, but good to see that trend going up. How do we continue to work through that, take that next step, and ensure that we're moving in the right direction? There's some specific pieces there. Speaking with Dr. Crawford, he feels like they were able to find some things that were working this year, being able to continue that into next year, build upon it, provide that support to folks that are moving where they need to with that. But ultimately, again, celebrating that progress, knowing that we've got a lot of data to get through, a lot of things to analyze to make sure we understand exactly where some of these pieces are and how we help folks move forward. All right, so history is a little bit of a double take here because there's a lot of green and there's a lot of arrows going up. There's also a lot of numbers that we are, I would hope is obvious, not content with in regards to pass rate and where we are at this point. There's a lot of pieces that we've already started to dig into on this particular slide, folks that we've been talking with, principals specifically, to be able to, again, understand the story behind some of that data, why we are where we are. History was an area where retakes made a significant difference and ultimately where we ended up. So as we're talking about that data in July, that's a piece that I'm really going to highlight. I'm going to talk through what that difference was, why we were getting it the second time around, not the first time around, for a larger group of students. students that we saw in some of those other content areas. So all in all, again, I know that green, those arrows up are good. We like improvement. We want to see that. Clearly nowhere close to where we need to be in some of these spots. World Geo is of particular importance there, so when we're thinking about how this hits us globally from an improvement standpoint, it doesn't come into play with that. Ultimately, how are students interacting with the content and how are we making sure they have what they need for graduation? World Geography is the big piece there to ensure they have that verified credit and being able to move forward. So glad to see that going up. That's more students that are now where they need to be for graduation, but again, not where we need to be from a rate standpoint. All right, so before I move into the what's next, just wanted to provide an opportunity to the board to ask any questions y'all might have at this juncture. As I said, we are still very much engaged in data analysis and making sure we understand the story behind all of these numbers. We'll be happy to answer any initial questions the board might have before I move on to the what's coming next.
Board?
We're going to get there. Absolutely.
Well, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
No, great explanations. Nothing wrong with your presentation. I am concerned with math and some science.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've already explained history well. So I would like to, when its time is right, what are you trying to implement to make that better? I mean, that's a big question, but just a teeny answer would do.
Absolutely. So with the slide that we're on right now with math, I think we've seen some very positive impacts from HQIM when we're in reading. That's a big piece. What it's going to look like for next year, the level of support that comes with that, and what we're talking through with each of those content areas. It provides that reset opportunity, specifically at the secondary level where we've got some of those concerns with numbers. There's a lot of structure that new HQIM brings that I think is going to help a lot with that. When we're talking about high school specifically, there's a lot that goes into some of those specific math courses. There's a lot of content expertise. Being able to sit down with each of those teachers to dig into that student-specific data, because we can be teaching the content, but there are skills that aren't getting to where they need to get to be ready for that assessment. We've got to identify those skills and make sure everything we're doing day to day is building what we need to be prepared to apply that on the SOL. I think I'm projecting that that's probably what we're going to see as we really start to dig into that data, but that's going to be the key as we're moving forward. It's got to be kid by kid. We've got to look for those big trends when we're talking about skills, particularly in math and science.
Whether geometry is of concern, well, all three, algebra and geometry, and then 7th grade. Because geometry, is a career leader, math into college, and we would like to know what happened there.
Yeah, geometry is one of those tough ones. Once those students get that Algebra 1 SOL, geometry becomes irrelevant from a graduation standpoint. It's a battle that we still need to fight, and Dr. Crawford and I have had a lot of conversation around that, how we make that more meaningful. We're actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say we. I'm actually thankful that the state, was what they're bringing out now with SOLs, has given a little more teeth to that actually counting for something, thinking about grades, students being able to lean into that a little bit more. That's part of the story. That's not the entire story. We need to be able to dig into it and see where we need to be. But I do know geometry historically has suffered with that shift, with Algebra 1 being the one that they really need for verified credit. And beyond that, I'm not going to say it doesn't count, but there are some perceptions that it doesn't count quite as much.
Well, I think that's real. And then what is your idea on the 7th grade? What do you see here?
Yeah, 7th grade. So when you think about how they performed last year and where that group was as a cohort, there were some concerns coming in with some of that performance. I will say, and I don't want to get into too much detail, the conversations I've already had, there have been some approach-specific, classroom-specific pieces that we've been talking through with administrators and digging into how we might be able to improve that as we're going forward. That is a piece that, again, publicly, I know I can't get into too much different things, but would love to be able to dig into more with the board and kind of talk through where we are with some of that. A lot of the sticker shock components that we've had, picking up the phone, talk with administrators, there were already some pretty strong thoughts and ideas about not just why it happened, but how we can address it as we're moving forward.
Well, I think you just, and my last comment is, I think you just said it. That has already happened, but going forward
Yep.
is the plan. The solution is what we're talking about now. The
Yes,
problem
ma'am.
we see, but the solution is, I wouldn't like to see 48% continue, even though everything else is moved up some. Geometry and 7th grade math concern me. That's all I had.
Yep. I appreciate it.
I don't want to take away from the great accomplishments that I've seen and the hard work that's been put into it, because it is nice to see the raw pass rates going up for the most part in the right direction. And you've made the comment yourself, we didn't hit the marks we were looking for. Something in your presentation concerns me. And when you had said that the indicators that you were looking at were going to show a different outcome, that concerns me. And it concerns me if we're getting data and information that's leading us down the wrong path, then we need to take a deeper look into what are we really looking at, and can we trust the data we're getting, because we're not focused where we need to be focused. And I hope we're already obviously looking into it, because we can't rely on data that doesn't serve us.
Right.
Right? We need to have the right information so we can guide these students and this curriculum to a path forward.
Sure, yeah. And I would say on the whole, the data we've been looking at each month, our quarterly data that we went through, showed us making that incremental growth, showing us making improvement in a lot of those areas. On the whole, that's absolutely what came to fruition. It's those outlier components, right? So we've got those grade levels or specific parts of what we're talking about where we didn't hit those marks. We weren't quite where we would have expected to be. That's where those conversations are going to get down to that nitty-gritty. What exactly led to that? Our team, as well as the teams in the schools, they're literally going to be pulling each student's performance by question, looking at those skills, doing all those different pieces. How are we better connecting, to your point,
Yes.
that data that we're looking at consistently to make sure we're putting our efforts in the right places and doing the right things? Yes, sir.
Right. We need
Yeah.
to see, we need to get the biggest bang for our buck.
That's right. Yes,
We need
sir.
to really show more improvement.
Yep.
Improvement's good, but
Not there yet.
we need to set the bar a little higher.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yep.
Anyone else? David?
No, sir, I'm good. I already spoke to the admin team when I saw the results, so.
Very good.
All right. So, without further ado, what's next? What are we doing? And I apologize, I'm going to have to turn my head. I can't read that tiny font that's over on the other side up there. Obviously, we are awaiting everything from VDOE. Unfortunately, at this point, they haven't even decided how they're going to calculate certain things for this data set, including growth. That's coming later this month in June. Once we get those updates, that's something I'm planning to bring back to the board in July. We are using their recommendations to help principals with projections and working through all that information again, bringing those back to y'all in July as well. We're hoping to get all that soon so our team can get on it and have everything we need, but we should be ready to go once we come back around in July. We've already started our data dig at the division level. There's a lot that we go through. We get all the way down to the student level, then build it back up, look for those trends to make sure we're identifying everything that we need to. Our schools are going to be engaged in the exact same situations this school year. As we were compiling data that was coming in, the principals were doing the exact same thing. So they've already been doing a lot of this analysis as they've been going through and bouncing some of those ideas back and forth about what we need to be looking at. So as that information is available, we have those plans together. Again, July will be another big month to bring back a lot of those pieces, what we're seeing, those trends, and Ms. Ligon, to your point, what are we doing about it? How are we taking that next step forward and make sure we're doing what we are doing? The last piece there I want to highlight, we're not anticipating any changes with how the state is looking at federal identification. This year, our current one school that is federally identified saw a pretty tremendous increase on what we're projecting for their framework score. So Dr. Profit and I have had a lot of conversations about where we think he may land, and I think we're going to have some very positive things to talk about that as we are moving forward. But again, with everything else, we're waiting on the state to get back to us and let us know where we need to be. So as we're moving forward, what the board can expect, there'll be some information coming from the state, sharing that in July, some further data analysis that'll also be shared in July, along with some initial trends, initial feedback on where we need to go as we're moving forward. We'll have additional updates in August and additional updates in September and beyond as the state finalizes everything that they need to. At any point, if any member of the board would like to schedule some time and come in and go in depth, we will lay everything out. Anything y'all want to talk about, whatever data y'all want to look at, we are more than happy to do that and kind of bring in that process of what we're looking at and how we're analyzing. We want to be open with that. We want feedback on that. We want to be able to analyze the trends and where we are, but get that additional guidance and support from the board on how we need to be allocating resources and moving forward. So as we have information and analysis, we will bring it to you, let you know where we are and where we need to go. All right. Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
All right, my one last item this evening, our Medicaid update for this month. We did see another increase in our interim and quarterly claims for this month, so good to see more money coming in. We are seeing that monthly average remain higher and stronger than it has been, so it's good to see. When we're talking about proof of concept, we're talking about Medicaid being something that we can rely on. We continue to see some good numbers coming in. Not just on that quarterly basis, but on the interim basis, that monthly or even weekly basis that we really want it to be coming in and doing. One important note for the board, we did get our cost settlement in for FY25. That was a TBD last month. Excuse me. As we were looking at that $45,000 was less than we initially had anticipated. We actually scheduled a couple of meetings with folks at DMAS, folks at the state that are working with us on Medicaid. There were some calculation changes with how they were looking at certain reimbursable expenses, specifically contracted services. That came out a little bit less than what we were initially anticipating. That's money that's good to have. That's not that money that we want to count on with Medicaid. We want that interim billing to be the part that's sustaining and moving us forward, but just wanted to note there that we did have that money now from FY25, and again, even though it wasn't quite what we were expecting, still good to have that money in the budget and able to utilize that to support students. So again, happy to answer any questions the board might have. All right. Well, thank you, sir. That's it for me.
All right.
Sir, moving on, 7-0 administrative. So a couple things on construction. Been over there some this week. Mr. Oakes has been over there quite a bit. We had a lot of demo happening in the last few weeks. So the welding lab is totally gutted. Of course, the classroom is finished. So that wall has been blown out. So it looks absolutely fantastic, even though it's rubble right now. Floor cutting, pipes are going in. But you can see, what I say by that is you can see the space and the size of it. And Mr. Johnston said when they blew that wall out, he said it looks like a football field in there. He was so excited. So, you can start to see the vision now that that wall is down, and it's such a large space. And culinary, we have that. We have the culinary rolling and working there. And then, of course, the ag shop is continuing. And then we are also working on some other flooring options in the main lobby and also in the CTE wing. So that part is going well. And I shared with them, we have a deadline of August, so let's keep going. But lots of good things happening, and we're rolling on that. So that will be exciting. I will hopefully have some pictures for you in July to give you a better update on that. Questions on construction to date? All right. Next, Amherst Middle School gym. So you tasked me with finding an option for the Amherst Middle School. I will say that the architect did have a plan, although it did not include bleachers and some other things. So I asked him to go back to the drawing board, but I will have that for you next month. It is quite a hefty project. So I have also, Mr. Rokes and I have also looked at other options, what we could do if we did not build a new gym to make things better. That may include moving some of the larger attendant games over to the high school, like when they play Manellison or some local schools that we typically get a lot of people. So that's not hasn't been very popular, but that may be what we have to do for some of those larger games. So, but I will have a little bit better plan for you next month. Questions on that?
I have
Right.
a question, Dr. Oden.
Yes, sir.
Have we talked about potentially doing things like B teams instead of like moving games to a different school? What would that affect? How would that affect our play and the number of students and that would be able to be involved in those different sports?
That can certainly be something, but I would like to, keep it on the same track with Manellison, to be fair. How we do things at Manellison, we want to try to stay on par with how we do it at Amherst Middle, but we'll certainly look at all those options as well, sir.
Yeah, well, so if you did a B team, it would be, you would include both middle schools as a team, right?
Right.
You wouldn't do a B team just for Amherst Middle because that wouldn't really do you any good.
Yeah. So, with that, you'd probably have you'd have to have cuts and things like that. So I don't know but we can certainly discuss that with both principals.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not saying it because I'm a proponent for it. I think it reduces it, but it was one of the options that they had brought up, and so I want to make sure that we're looking at all the options
Right.
That are available and making a decision based on all the facts that are before us.
Yep. I agree. All right. Any other questions? All right, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, you have the 51, I believe, policies in front of you that are distributed for first read. So I will come back to you next month to find out which ones you would like to approve and which ones you'd like to pull for the policy committee. So if you would review that, and then if you could get me any questions for that sooner than later, that would be great. A lot of the revisions were like last month. They were just, Mr. Childress can recall that. A lot of them were shall to will, just changes in different, with the code section changing and revisions like that. So a lot of it was just a narrative. They have a new school board attorney reviewing it, and she's just changing some wording for a lot of them. There are a few that we have to dig into, but most of them are pretty simple changes.
All right.
Okay. All right, so 7.03, we have an update on the CEP and meal prices for the 26-27 school year. You have that information for you in your packet, but if you'll see here, we do participate in USDA and the CEP, which means all of our students eat free, which is great, and we will continue on that again next year, but you'll look and see the 25-26 prices and then the recommended 26-27 prices. So adult lunch will go up from $4.85 to $5.20, adult breakfast $2.85 to $3, milk stays at 50 cents, and then ice cream stays at 85. I know all the students will be very excited that their ice cream stays at 85 cents. So questions on that?
Priorities.
Yeah. All right. Next, you have a student suspension report for May and June. Since there was a few days in June, we just included those last few days. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out on that. And then 7:05, Best Labs update. You have in front of you the information on the Best Labs, and did the same thing with the metrics there. Because there was only a couple days in June, we did add that so that I didn't have to bring you 3 days next month. So that information is in there as well. Okay. All right, if no questions, I have a child nutrition procurement plan that we have to provide to you. So Ms. Klein is here to discuss this. She has vetted this with the county and with our attorney. So I'll turn it over to her for explanation.
Melissa Woodard is here with me. She's the county
Procurement
procurement
manager.
specialist. I think you've already had this to go over. This is part of an audit that we had, and said that our federal regulations stated that we need to do an addendum to what the county has for their procurement plan. So this is basically just a DOE template that we've gone over with the county attorney, Melissa. We went line by line and just made it align with our federal regulations.
Questions on that? So we do need approval for that, so I would need a motion to approve that.
Lord, do I have a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Ms. Zukonich, Finance.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Before you tonight are your May financial reports. I'm going to start off with the child nutrition reports. We still have a couple months of reimbursements that aren't reflected. The May and June reimbursements will not be distributed until after July 1st. I will also be bringing to you an appropriation authorizing the use of the fund balance. We've talked about that before, that we knew that we were going to be going into a deficit, and that was intentional as we spend down that excess year-end balance that child nutrition had, and they used that on the high school equipment. For the schools, we still have our June state funding coming up, and for the closeout of the year, we're going to have June, July, and August sales tax. It won't be August. It'll be August before we know exactly what our final health insurance year-end requirements are going to be. I will be bringing supplemental appropriations for E-rate, possibly some additional VPSA, depending on how the items that were ordered were brought in, if it comes in before the end of the year. And again, if we have another health insurance adjustment that needs to be made, we may have to do another, we may have to do a budget transfer request if any of those expenses is making a major classification go over budget. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. There's a lot of variables, but we are closing out the year, and it does look positive. Do you have any questions?
Anybody have questions?
Oh, yeah, well, comment. We're still looking at, I think I saw something today. In a couple of weeks, the state budget is supposed to be back. I mean, some information on that. June
We sure hope
22nd
so.
or something? Yes? No?
Well, unfortunately, what I heard last night, and I heard it from the news, I haven't heard it anywhere else, is that they may provide a skinny budget and then go into a shutdown, which would provide us enough money to get through the next few months. So I'm not really sure where they're at on that. It's not very pleasant, but the good thing is, if anything, that all the school divisions in the state are under the same. And I know I talked to Jeremy today, county administrator, and he's, sharing the same woes. So just hopefully that they can get this straight and get the data centers and all the other things that they're considering talking about, and move forward and get us a budget.
Thanks.
All right, turn it over to Dr. Rose for HR.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board. What you have in front of you are the vacancies memorandum for June 11th, 2026. HR is working diligently to find qualified candidates to fill the positions that you see before you. A lot of changes are happening daily with the various positions. We found a special education teacher, school secretary. We filled a paraprofessional position, as well as an elementary teacher position, as well as a few APs as well. But we are constantly monitoring the applicant pool, reaching out to colleges and universities in the area to see if they have any December graduates as well that might be eligible for the positions that you see in front of you where applicable. But if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay. Any
A lot of work
questions?
ahead. Got a few.
It's been a busy few weeks,
Yes.
as you see by the addendum
you.
that you had tonight, so. All right, so a couple things for me. Just like to thank you again for graduation. I think that was a wonderful ceremony, and I think the students did very well. And one thing that I would mention that Dr. Crawford is probably most proud of is that the students that started the year, they all crossed the stage. We didn't lose any, and that's a major accomplishment for the high school. And that does a lot for our graduation rate. And I'd just like to congratulate all the staff at the high school, that because there's so many folks, right? The admin, the teachers, the counselors that really stay on those students and make sure we get them across the stage. And then we had some students, obviously from AEC, that did the same thing. So graduation, I would say, is definitely was a success and another great ceremony, and we appreciate Liberty for the Vine Center. I think that's a wonderful place to house it. I think the end of the year went well. I know several of you had questions on the calendar, so as we kind of start into next year and we look at the calendar, we can certainly discuss that for end of the year procedures moving forward next year. The last thing on my list is Mr. Childress and I discussed, and I know Mr. Rossi was in agenda prep, but discussed regarding the division's current retention policy and practices. So I think that at some point we would like to look at that policy and see if we want to bring any changes back for July. So I would task you with looking at that policy, and then we can discuss it in July. In July, we will have some information for you, such as students retained, and Mr. Childress has also asked for some specified information for students failing SOLs and that, and we will have that. Mr. Harrison will compile that, and I'll have that for you in July, so we can further discuss that. Mr. Childress, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, just that, it's something that we need to be cognizant of. I mean, we certainly need to be following any policies that we have, and if we need to, update, modify the policies to fit current practices, then, obviously that needs to come to the board to do that. But my biggest thing in talking about the retention is that we've got to do a better job of not just pushing kids from grade to grade. And so as a school division, we need to determine how do we best handle that.
Right. And that is policy ILA, so if you'd like to look over that or if you have any questions, be glad to talk about that and see what that is.
I'm familiar with what the policy says.
No, I was telling the rest of the board, so if they wanted to look at it, sir, I'm sorry.
Sure, thanks.
ILA.
ILA, yes. I knew from our discussions you knew what it was, Mr. Childress. I was just letting them know so they could look at it, so they didn't have to page through and find it.
Thank you.
All right. Turn it over back to you, Mr. Vice Chair, for your committee reports.
Yeah, committee reports. I guess, Laura, you're up first.
Yeah, the committee of one. So I just wanted to thank you all. I know that the end of the year and all the SOL testing, that was a lot, but you're right. It looks like we are headed in the right direction. Everybody's worked hard. We're still not going to give up. We're still going to dig in deeper. I want to thank our businesses, Glad and Fairmont, for helping us out. That we need those, and we hope and encourage more businesses to also participate. Makes up for a lot of the deficit that we have. It's exciting news that all the seniors graduated. That's excellent. Good job, Dr. Crawford and team. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful summer. Rest up, because August will roll around pretty quick.
Before you know it.
I know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
I would just like to say congratulations to all the seniors and all the 8th graders, all the 5th graders that are moving up. Have a safe summer. Do not do anything crazy to hurt yourself or anybody else. And to all the teachers, get you some rest, because next year is going to be here quick. Thank you.
Amen to that.
Yeah, so I didn't have any, I don't have a committee, but I have been able to get to some of the schools here lately with Elon Elementary here lately. Went to the 5th grade party, got to DJ their party, and it is so awesome to see the 5th graders knowing they're moving up to the next school. They do a clap out at the end of the day, saluting their 5th graders as they're leaving. It's pretty emotional. A lot of teachers and parents with tears rolling. It's an awesome day. I did get to go to the retirement dinner that we hosted at Sweetbriar, which was, other than the temperature in the room, the event was
We did get a discount.
very nice. Yeah, okay, well, that's good. That's good. To the yearbook staff, I participated in yearbook staff in middle school and high school myself. I know the work you guys put in, and it shows when we go looking through the yearbooks. Everybody who has one, students or whatever, cherish that. I pull mine out every now and then and look back and go, oh my goodness. But no, it's great memories there, and keep those handy. And when I look at the data that we got tonight, Mr. Neighbors, while I was at Elon, I had principals coming up to me going, "You remember the challenge you gave us last year?" And I said, "Yeah, I believe I do." I told them, I said, last year they had improved, but we can't just focus on the places where we went down. We got to keep our eye on the prize and continue to go up. And she reminded me, she said, that was the challenge, and we met it this year. So looking at this and seeing all the little squiggly lines, as you referred to them, going up is an awesome thing, but we need to not take our eye off the prize, that they can continue to go up. So thank you for all the efforts. Look forward to next year. And I will have to reiterate what Mr. Childress said about students, please be safe. We don't like to get those texts that we sometimes have to get. And we want to get the good ones. So
Yes, sir.
everybody be safe and have a good summer. We'll see you next in the fall. Thank you.
So,
Yeah, I just wanted, I'll start with piggybacking on the safety. You know, we always think about our children leaving home and driving, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So we always got instilled in them to drive slow and to be careful, and I think that's a good thing to do. Laurel has not met since we met last time. I think I reported that we drafted the budget, and things are well there. I did attend the law conference last Friday for VSBA. Just a great day of information, and I think we're all aware that there are some new laws coming up July the 1st, and some will affect the school system and some not, but I'm not going to read them all off tonight, but there is a list out there that you can look at to see where we are. I was just doing a little preliminary report card of where we are with different things, special ed, buses and transportation, nutrition, and I think we're looking pretty good here, so I feel good about what was said and where we are. Do we have any early predictions on summer school attendance? Is it looking decent here so far? 1 week, 4 days.
There you go. What I've been hearing from Dr. McGinnis, he had more kids show up than he expected. So
that's a good
that's
thing.
been a very positive thing so far. We had some parents that got into that information, I think, a little bit late, but we've been making accommodations and making sure we're getting everybody through the door we can.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I see the buses out there. I forgot one morning that they were out there, but anyway, I seem to have a problem with these buses going past them. But anyway, and then the second thing is, I announced this in my church, I'm excited about the summer meals. I should have asked Ms. Klein, are we doing well with that? It was only the first Monday so far.
Yeah, she actually gave me, I think she left, but she gave me some figures. I know they packed a ton of lunches, and they're giving them out at a couple places in the community and then at the schools as well. And she said that the first week was well ahead of where we were last year. So she said it increases over the summer, so she's had to employ a few more folks and get a few more bags ready for the students. So that's great. We're getting the students what they need over the summer.
Yeah, I think it's needed. Price of food is where we know it is. And when I read the announcement, it's exciting to know that they give them enough on Monday to last for 7 days. And sometimes parents don't read their emails about that, but that's a great savings. And I'm going to echo what everybody else said. I enjoy my end of the year school. I went to the 5th grade graduation at Amelon. It was wonderful. I went to the 8th grade graduation at Amelon, where was I? Manalason. I forget where my kids are. That was just a beautiful day there. So seeing, as somebody said, seeing those little people go from one building to the next is a good thing. And so I can't wait to go home and look at my yearbook. That's my treat for tonight. And so all is well. And we do look forward to, I don't know if it's summer or not in education, it never stops. But thank you for the reports tonight on the SOLs. And I think, as Mr. Cherry said, we just keep moving up. We keep moving up. And later on, I don't call for special meetings. I will probably just ask and look into what it is that, some of these are a little lower than normal, and something might have attributed to it or not. We do have different students taking different classes. We got to remember that. But we don't want to hinder it by teachers changing too often, and that can disrupt things, or absenteeism among students. So probably we have a target that to look at, but we hope to see things improve. So that's all I know. We're excited about going into the summer.
all right, Mr. Childers?
All right. Well, I know I say this every time, but I am going to keep this short and sweet since I am virtual tonight. Obviously, you're attending graduation. That's what we're all here for, right? Is to get every one of our kids to that point. And so it was an honor to be able to be on the stage and to watch every one of those kids walk across and get their diploma. I also did get to attend the retirement dinner. And the one thing I took away from that was if you listened to the comments from those who got to speak about the retiree, you know that they were a tight-knit family. The comments were so personal, and that meant so much to the retiree to hear those comments. And so that just says so much about the community in Amherst County, the staff, and how close they really are. And I'm so proud of all of our staff and our teachers and everybody, that works so hard every day for our students. They're all educators. I don't care what their title is, what their position is. They're all educators, and you heard that in that retirement dinner. So great job for them, and I'm happy that they've reached that. I'm looking forward to the new year coming up in July, and continuing to look at the SOL results that we received and digging in deep to see what moved the needles. And as Ms. Ligon pointed out, some of the scores, we kind of regressed a little bit. So figuring out why that happened. I know science was probably one of our weaker areas. So trying to dig in to see what happened there. So looking forward to the next meeting and next week. And that's all I have.
All right. So I can wrap it up here. We're getting to a record-setting meeting, hopefully. Graduation, I was unable to attend, but every single senior walked across that stage. That is a great accomplishment to all the teachers. 12 years went into that, so that kind of matters, and it's important that we recognize the accomplishments that we've made it through. We still have challenges, we still have struggles, and to be able to identify those and correct the path moving forward, and knowing that the target is always moving, and we have to be able to adjust to that. But I think we're strong, we're focused, and I think we're going to come to the challenge. And our community needs us, and we need them, because this isn't just board members sitting up here and administration. It's the community, and everybody needs to show up. And I think that's the thing we need to have happen more often. More people showing up and having every student walk across stage. Wow, that's incredible. And I know the SOLs weren't exactly what I was expecting to see, but the progress moving forward and having a plan in place to move our students to where they need to be. So when they get to the other side of that stage, they're going to be successful. That's ultimately our goal. Not just to get them across stage, but have them successful when they step down the other side, whether it be off to college or off to work or whatever they choose to do, that they can be successful at it. And I appreciate everybody's hard work. And I think that's all I have. And we will be moving on to
Public comment?
public comment. Yes, so we didn't have anybody signed up for the first one. Is there anybody who'd like to speak this evening? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Porter, 478 Woodies Lake Road, Madison Heights, District 5. A couple of comments. One is, I know that you're involved in a search for a superintendent, but I'm not hearing any kind of updates in terms of where that is. So that would be helpful. If I think it would be of interest to know how things are progressing on that issue. I also am very grateful for the ways in which each of you look at different aspects of what's going on in this school district, and you bring your strengths to bear in that, and that's helpful. I encourage you to continue to do that. That's why we need all of you present and all of you vocal and letting us know what's going on. The final comment is that I'm wearing red, white, and blue because Sunday is Flag Day, and Flag Day is important for our country. July 4th is coming up. Our 250th celebration is important. And as I noticed on some of the raw data, the concern that I have is Virginia and history and civics were not doing well. And we need to be raising strong citizens who are informed. And I look forward to seeing how we can work together to somehow improve that, because that needs to be improved.
Agreed.
Thank you all.
All right.
Eric, if I may, in case everybody hasn't seen it, well, we did issue a media release this morning around lunchtime that we are holding a special meeting next Wednesday, June 17th at 6 p.m. Here at the school board office for the board to make an appointment, to act on an appointment and a contract for the division superintendent. So, and we'll have a meet and greet opportunity at the conclusion of that meeting.
All right, thank you very much. And that's next Wednesday. All right.
Anyone else want to speak? Good, okay, we're
Everybody
good.
good? All right. And I guess we've got one more thing on the agenda.
Sir. Mr. Vice Chair, pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, it's recommended the board convene a closed meeting for the following: A1, personnel matters, specifically being the discussion, consideration, and interviews prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body.
Motion to go into close.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're officially in close.